Yeah guys, in this video, now let us try to understand how to use model in an MVC project. So by using the model, as I said, we are going to transfer data from controller to view and view to the controller. So now let's try to use a model and let us try to understand how we can create a view from the model and how we can transfer the data. That is what about this video. So as we see in this is the configuration to set the default controller and all those. So I'm creating a fresh project and I will demonstrate how to use a model and how to create a view from it. So new project, so ASP.NET MVC project. Let me take this. So guys, yesterday also it is giving an error, so just uncheck this option, configure for HTTPS, and select this MVC application. So then create the project. So now I want to create the project from the scratch. That's the reason I'm just deleting this. So even in the views folder, I'm going to delete this home folder because the controller name is home, we deleted. So now let's create a folder, products controller. So now I just want to display the list of products, or else enter list of products. So now first let's do one thing, go to models, right click and add a class, because as I already mentioned, a class is nothing but a model. So now user product, or let's keep product, you should not get confused. Products is the controller name, product is the model name. So here you are going to mention whatever the properties that we required. So product ID or product code, so string product title, string product category, double product price. So like that you can create what are the attributes that you want to read from end user. Okay, now let's save this. So here, so I'm going to create an action method. So public action result, so add product example. So let me write return view. So now here you can right click anywhere. Guys, one more thing, so the project need to be in a stop state, it should not get in a running mode. So you won't add a view or anything, so the product always need to be in a pause mode or stop mode. So you can right click and select add view. So here you select MVC5 view. So then, so I'm going to use the same name. I already discussed in the previous video that what is going to be happen if the name is not same. So after that, here you can select the template create. Earlier we used only empty template, now we are going to use the template create. So create is nothing but, that means you are creating the data, nothing but inserting the data. So delete is for delete, details is for showing a particular product, edit is for updating. So empty is nothing but empty, nothing will be there, list will be for displaying. So there is a separate purpose for each and every type of the template. I am using the create template. Create means creating the data, adding some data to the database. So here you are going to select the model. Model is nothing but the class which contains the list of properties. So that is what product class as I created. So you can use these two options enabled. So after that click OK. Now without writing a single line of HTML code, system is going to create a view which contains all the attributes of the particular class which we selected. So now let me simply execute and show you what was created by using this particular model option, creating a view from the model option. you can see this. So if you observe in this particular model, actual model properties, we created ID, title, category and price. So but we know that ID generally we are going to use it for identity column. That is the reason it will always ignore the column ID. That is the reason I wantedly mentioned that particular column. So here we have title, category, price and all those. So here if you observe what is the code it was generated. So using HTML.begin form, that means it is symbolical representation of opening of a form tag, in our HTML. So this particular method, this is a C# code. HTML helper classes are going to be create some properties. HTML.anti-forgery token means, suppose by mistake user is hitting this create or whatever the button is there, if user is trying to submit it more than one time, he is clicking, so it is going to stop that restriction. So after that, this is validation summary. So validation summary is going to display the list of errors what are there inside this form. So as of now we are not completed validations in this after this particular topic, so I will cover that one also. Now if you see this, so about this title label, so there is HTML.label for, so from the model it is selected the type, it is selected the property title. So it is going to add HTML attributes like this is a CSS class. So here you can write several attributes which are supported by HTML. Suppose I just want to write style, so I can write @style equal to, in double quotes I can write any style property, color is equal to red, example. So I'm just trying to show you so how we can add attributes. You can see this. So only difference is you will have an @ symbol before the attributes whatever we wrote in HTML or HTML5. Class is equal to, this is the CSS class. As I already mentioned, so this MVC projects will comes inbuilt of this particular Bootstrap. So this is a Bootstrap class that is going to be mentioned like title is going to be displayed like this. So in case if you want to write any specific CSS attributes, you can add by keeping a comma separator here. So I hope this is clear. This is how label will get generated. Next we have HTML.editor for. So normally for such kind of attributes you can use text box for also. So since system doesn't understand what property it suits, that is the reason it is going to take a common attribute called editor for. Editor and text box both are same. So where it is going to select the attribute type is title. So again it is going to give the class name as form control. Form control is again a class from Bootstrap classes. HTML.validation message. Suppose if you wrote any validations here, so when you hit this button, so that validation message is going to be displayed after this particular text box. Below the text box you are going to see what is the error message. So I will cover this so after this one. So like that these are all going to be repeated. Form group, one attribute from this class will get generated as one form group. So after that at the ending you are going to see an input group, so where it is a simple submit button. So they had given the value type as create because we had selected the template as create. So here you can write, so add product or add anything is fine. So now that is going to be displayed here. Okay, so now, so by default they are going to give you an anchor tag to go back to the previous page. So this is an optional one. In case if you want to use it, you can keep it, otherwise you can delete this one. So I don't want this, I am just deleting this. So after that it is going to include a scripts.render. So as I said, it is going to contain the default Bootstrap contents and all those. So it is going to load all jQuery validation scripts into this particular, because so we have validation messages, so validators. So to trigger that one we require jQuery, that is the reason it will comes automatically. So you don't disturb that one. So this is our product. So here I just want to add 2 points guys. So this is the model, right? Here you can include some modal validations. Suppose, so if you see this, whenever I execute, so whenever I hit this button, so since this is an integer or double field, excuse me, this error was generated. But for title and category, so it is not showing as mandatory. Suppose if you enter any value, so it will get submitted automatically. So now I just want to make this particular title and category as mandatory. So for that I can use modal validators. So these modal validators, you can enable it manually. So from the modal, so as I already mentioned, you can use these square brackets which are called data annotations. So make this project to be stopped. So here you can write required. So that means this is going to become mandatory at the time of user entry. So now it required to import a particular namespace called data model dot component model dot data annotations. So with this particular namespace, these particular validations can be done. Now let's execute it once again and observe the change what it was done. So now if I click this, you can see system is showing that the title field, because whatever the property is there, that name will be included, field is required. This is what the error message it will trigger. So you can make a particular property as mandatory to enter at the time of user entry. So and one more thing here, there is one more additional option is there. If you don't want to use that particular error message, if you want to write custom message, so here you can write an option error message equal to, in double quotes you can write what error message it's supposed to be displayed at the time of error. So here I can write star mark, or else you can also write like this, title is required, something like this. You can write any error message. Okay, let's see this. Now you can see title is required. You will get your own custom error message. Okay, so like the same you can work for lot many attributes. So let me add one more controller. Here I am going to add controller MVC5 empty controller, users controller. Here I am going to take a method user signup. Let me create a model for this. Add a class signup, ID, name, mobile number, user ID, password, confirm password, something like this. Now let's add validations. So name is required. So this we are already seen how to use required attribute. So for mobile number I need to write a regular expression, so where mobile number should follow some pattern. So then you can use regular expression of, so first you need to write the pattern. So the first digit should be from 6 to 9, 1 character, from 0 to 9, 9 characters. So after that you can write error message, invalid mobile number. So if this mobile number is following this pattern, so then there is no error. If it is not following, you are going to get this particular error message. So along with this I can also use required attribute. So that means it is mandatory and it should follow this particular regular expression. Next, user ID. So user ID also I am making it as required. So next, coming to the password. So for password I can use required attribute, and additionally password always need to be displayed as password characters, right? So then there is an attribute called display. So display, sorry, it is not display guys, one moment. So display is another attribute. So data type of data type dot. So there are different data types are available. You can select according to our requirement: password, text, email address, date, multi-line text box. So there are different attributes are there. According to our requirement, you can change the data type. So then type will be changed to the type password. Now, so coming to the confirm password, as usual you are going to use a required attribute. So data type also should be password because character should not display to the end users. So data type dot password. Here additionally there is an attribute called confirm attribute. Compare attribute. So here it is going to compare with the attribute password. So if these two are matching, there is no error. Otherwise it is going to show the error message. So here I can write an error message: password and confirm password should be same. Password and confirm password should be same. So if you observe, what are the properties we covered? Required is one, regular expression, so data type and compare. So these are the required attributes. One more should be there. Let me try if it is working. So this is required range attribute. So minimum is 18, maximum is 50. Error message is age should be minimum of 18 and maximum of 50. So this is one more attribute what we have, that is what range. So these are the main using data annotations or modal validations you can call. So these are the real-time using attributes what we discussed so far. Now let's create a simple view for this. Add view. So MVC5 view. So here you should select the template create and you should select the modal sign up. So this is what the reference script you seen in the last. So this need to be enabled, and layout, the design, whatever you are getting header and footer. So if you want that one, you need to check this one, otherwise you can uncheck that one. So click on add. So it was generated. So simply click on execute or IIS Express option. So now if I click on this, you can see name field is required. Suppose I give a name is some, mobile number is required. If I give 1, so it is saying that invalid because it should be as per the pattern what we wrote. Now you can see user ID is required. So password. So you can see password field is required. So it is not displaying the password because we changed the display type to password. So here you can see this. I was not given the same password. It is showing that it is wrong. So when you give the exact password, this particular validation message is going to be get cleared. Age I am giving 14. So it is going to display the error message. Age should be minimum of 18, maximum of 50. So and if you see this, since it is an integer type, it was become the number type. You can see this. So whenever it becomes 18 as per the range, the validation message is getting cleared. So this is how you can do validations. Clear? So now you need to understand one thing, guys. So how to create a drop down if it is required, how we can create a drop down, that we are going to cover now. Yeah, to create drop down there are two options available. So option 1 we can construct by using an enum operator. So here let's go back to the controller. So here I'm just going to add a property public gender. Gender is going to be an enum type. So user gender. Here also I am going to show you one new option I forgot in the previous properties. So first let's create an enum public. So enum should be after the class or before the class, it should not be inside that one. So enum gender. So now you can see this gender was recognized. Here you can provide the option. So this is how you can create a enum type. So from this you can design a drop down in the front end side. So I mean to say in the view. So wherever you want to include that gender property, so there you can copy the same attributes. So here instead of age you are going to select this is also need to be changed this guys. So here this is going to be displayed as user gender. Maybe I can give gender, wantedly I given it as other name. So here there is a property called display name equal to gender. So then wherever you are printing this property in a label, instead of user gender it will display it as gender. So this is one more attribute I forgot actually. So here you can use user gender. So validation is also same, only this editor per is going to modify. So how to write it means, so HTML dot drop down list and drop down list for, guys, for everything, even for text box, label, everything, there will be two attributes. One is the original attribute and there is a for attribute. So for means whenever you are generating the properties from the model, you have to use this for attributes. So this you need to use when you are writing hard coded code. So we are generating from the model, that is the reason drop down list for. So you can take any attribute. Normally this MVC auto generated code, they are going to use model is an entity. Okay, so m dot, so user gender. So after that you can give new select list. There is select list. So in the select list values, it is going to get it as a list from the values. So here you can give the option gender. So this is the code to generate drop down list item. Now here you have to convert that particular enum operator as a select list. So you have to write enum dot get values. In case if you want to print the values, you can print the values, otherwise you can get the names also. So get values, the type of gender. Gender is not accessing directly, so that what we can do, so public enum gender, so it is there under models folder, right? So let's do one thing, whatever the project name, web application 1 dot models dot, so you can select the enum operator gender. So now let's execute and check whether it is accessible or not. Now you can see it is getting executed. So here you can see you got the options. So only thing is you can add HTML attributes for this one also. comma new. Here you can write the HTML attributes. So I am going to use the class form control, so that I am expecting the same design. So now you can see you got the same design. So only thing is I was included the HTML helper class, the CSS predefined class. So this is option 1, how we can generate drop down from a model. So here if you see, we generated the drop down so with a hard coded values through enum operator. Now suppose in case if you want to generate on fly by using the predefined static values, so that we can do. So here I am going to take the type string, suppose city. So for this attribute, in case if I want to add some drop down elements, so we can do like this. So the same thing here, you can select the city itself, here also city. Now only thing is here, instead of this particular new select list item, we are going to create a select list item manually, either anywhere in the view, so we can create it. So I am going to write like this. So here list of select list item, suppose cities equal to new select list item so here I can add new select list items one by one. So here you can pass these cities instead of this enum conversions and all those. So you can delete everything of this conversion of enum and all those. You can pass the value cities. So here I can let me write it before. Yes, now it is recognized. So here you can write city. That's it. So here you can pass the values like this. Inside the select list item, there will be three particular properties you can give. One is text. Text is one property and value is one property. If you remember, while creating the drop down, we will give so text and value. Text we will give in between the list item, so value will be given inside the attribute. So these two attributes you can pass it to every particular element. So I hope now you can understand. So this particular text properties can be displayed to user. Value properties will get submitted to the database when we are getting submitted. So that's it. Let's try whether it is working or not. So execute this one. So city, you can see all the cities was loaded. So these are the two different things that we can perform. So either by using the select list items or by using the enum operator, we can create a drop down list. Okay. So sometimes you can get this list from database also. In future I can cover that kind of example too. That's it. Here we hard coded the values. So otherwise we can get from a database also. So this is how you can create models from this particular data models, and we can perform the validations also, and you can create views and you can customize them according to our requirement. So as of now this is fine. The major thing, so this is a get method. Even though if you are not performing, you can see this system by default whenever there is no data annotation at the controller, so that means it works for get method. Get is nothing but in URL if you type this users/user signup, this is getting executed. So coming to the data posting, so whenever you want to post the data, how it is going to be. So whenever you want to post this particular data from this particular view, so since we doesn't mention any specific attribute to which form it need to get submitted, so system is going to submit to the same controller and same name of the action method. So that is the reason you can copy paste this to create a get method. So only thing is whenever you have two methods with same signature, system won't allow you to so continue for further. That is the reason the first thing I am going to mention the attribute HTTP post method. That means this works for get method and this works for post method. Whenever you are submitting the data, this method will get enabled. Whenever you are loading from the user HTTP URL, this is getting executed. This is what get method. Okay, even though if you are not if you are specifying it as HTTP get, if you are not specifying with HTTP get, this is going to be get executed. So it works for get method, it works for post method. So whenever it is a post method, that means you are going to submit some data, right? So then you need to write like this, whatever the properties are there, int id, so int id comma string name, like that you need to write all the properties of the class. So it is not a good way of writing the code, writing all the attributes like this. That is the reason what we will do. So these all properties are there inside the model or not. That is the reason you are going to directly take the class sign up or whatever the method, whatever the model you use it to submit the data. So but sorry guys, the sign up was not recognized because this class is there under the models folder. So that is the reason you have to import using whatever the current project name. My project name is web application 1.models. Then you can see this particular sign up was recognized. Let me keep a breakpoint here. So now let's execute. You know this is not an error, right? So because we doesn't configure which controller to execute by default. So now this is products. We need to go with users. Now let's enter the name. So test name, you should understand this is name. So some mobile number, user ID, password and gender, so age, something like this. If you click on this create, the data will get submitted to the same action method which is of HTTP protocol. Now if you take mouse on this particular sign up input, you can see all the properties will be there. Okay, so you have the data. Now you know how to insert data to database, either by using ADO.NET, either by using code first or DB first, model first, any of the approach from entity framework. So you have the data ready, you can save it to the database, and that logic you can write it here. So this is how you can perform database insertion by using this MVC. Okay, so that's it for now. In the next session or next video, we can discuss about how we can work with entity framework along with MVC, and how we can submit the data, and how we can print the confirmation message and all those. These all things will be covered. Thank you.